Tre Mann used a life-changing opportunity in his sophomore year to carve his own path into the NBA. However, Mann's goals are much bigger than simply being a basketball player. Number 7. Tre Mann's early life. Tre surpassed even his dad's wildest dream. Born in Gainesville, Florida on February 3, 2001, Tre grew up alongside his siblings. His dad, Albert Mann, is the one who introduced Tre to basketball. The two of them would watch games together all the time. We imagine the Mann household had some mean pickup games with so many boys under one household. And if you know anything about brothers playing together, many of those games must have ended with one of them crying or trying to fight the other. But there is no better way to toughen up. Early on, his dad made sure Tre knew what basketball greatness was. My dad's favorite player was Michael Jordan, so I watched him a lot. Little did his dad know that Tre would end up playing for MJ's former team. One of the players Tre gravitated toward was the man who changed the face of basketball. As I grew up and got older, I started picking my own players to watch. One of them was Stephen Curry. I like the way he moves and creates his shots. He creates space for himself and creates for his teammates. I like how crafty he is. I feel like I have a similar type of game. Now, Tre would go from idolizing Steph to being compared to him because of what he was about to do. Number 6. Basketball obsession. During his senior season, something happened that made Tre realize he was NBA bound. However, his dreams almost came to an end before they even got started. Tre idolized Curry growing up. He even used to wear his shirts in warm-ups. Even though he tried to make his own style of play rather than play exactly like Steph, he got the nickname Little Steph Curry. The reason was that he could always shoot the ball and he had a crafty way of scoring. But hey, there are worse things than to be called than Baby Curry. However, a scary incident in his junior year almost ended his basketball dreams. He played basketball for the Villages Charter School in the Villages, Florida. As a junior, he averaged 20 points and 5.6 rebounds per game, but suffered a torn meniscus in his right knee at the Class 5A District 5 title game. But he was able to make a full recovery, and he came back next season looking for revenge. He averaged 23.6 points and 4.9 rebounds per game and was named Daily Commercial All-Area Player of the Year and was selected to play in the McDonald's All-American Game and Jordan Brand Classic. It was these selections that really emboldened Tre to pursue his NBA dream. I played well that season, started getting offers from everywhere, and was invited to the McDonald's All-American Game and the Jordan Brand Classic. It hit me then that I could actually do it. His next step toward his dream would result in him being dubbed a hometown hero. Number 5. Journey to the NBA. His college years were full of ups and downs, but a lucky break between his first and second year would change Tre's life. There is nothing sweeter than to play for your hometown, to represent where you came from and grew up, not to mention the added benefit of home cooking and staying close with your friends and family. So when recruiters came asking for Tre, he had to weigh his options, including the idea of playing for the Florida Gators. In the end, he took his emotions out of his decisions and did what was best for him. And what was best for him was to be a Gator. However, Tre's first year was far from ideal. He only started 4 games out of 29 and averaged 5 points per game. The pandemic also threw off any hopes of building momentum as the season went on. Tre weighed his options once more and was about to declare for the NBA when a life-changing event happened. When he first came into college, he was 6'3" and weighed 170 pounds. But between his freshman and sophomore year, he grew 2 inches and gained 15 pounds. This extra height and weight would ultimately skyrocket his production and later his draft stock. Not to mention the fact that he was given the starting point guard role if he decided to come back to Florida, which was an opportunity he gladly took. I felt like I was in the perfect situation. In my second year, I had the role of being the main point guard and primary ball handler. It helped me become a better point guard and see the game from that position. I was also able to lead a team as a sophomore in a group of older guys. Tre shined with more usage and averaged 16 points, 5.6 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.4 steals per game, and was named first team All-Southeastern Conference by the league's coaches and second team All-SEC by the media. However, after achieving his dream to play in the NBA, Tre would be smacked with the harsh reality that in the NBA, business came first. Number 4, NBA career. Despite the ups and downs, Tre would earn the respect of one of his idols. Coming into the NBA, he confidently declared that he was the best guard in his draft class. Naturally, he compared his game to the likes of Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Jamal Murray, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Darius Garland. He would get to play alongside one of those guys as OKC selected Tre 18th overall in the 2021 draft. His time in OKC was tough. On one hand, he got some opportunity in his first year as SGA was injured and missed some time. However, in his sophomore year, Tre had to come face to face with the business side of basketball. Despite clearly being a good shooter, he found himself on the bench because other players were giving more minutes. However, Tre showed his maturity in those tough times. Instead of focusing on the negatives, he decided to look at the bigger picture and be a good teammate. But not everything he did went under the radar. Stars around the league took notice of Tre's play, and Damian Lillard in particular lauded him to be a future star. I don't know if it's going to be in Oklahoma City, but wherever he's at, Tre Mann is nice. When he gets an opportunity somewhere, I'm telling you, he reminds me on how he do stuff and what he's capable of. It reminds me of how Ant is. Like the same thing I saw in Ant is how I saw him. So it seems that the Hornets took notice of that gem that was sitting on the OKC bench as they traded their veteran wing, Gordon Hayward, for him. And immediately, Tre was given the starting role on the Hornets, and he hasn't looked back since. His new team not only allowed him to play, but also earn life-changing money. Number 3, NBA contract. Players make millions in the NBA but still go broke. However, Tre has a plan to keep his hard-earned cash. He came into the league on a 4-year, $14 million deal. Every penny of that deal is guaranteed, and he makes $3 million annually at the moment. The next year, that figure will probably go up to $4 million. But more importantly, his first deal is almost up. This means that very soon he'll be making somewhere between $15 to $20 million a year. However, even with his coming riches, Tre is not one to spend his money recklessly. In fact, when asked what he would do with his first paycheck, he said, "Hopefully I can do something to save it and invest, and then have fun later down the road when I get a little more money." Now, it is a good thing he saved it because he will need everything he has to spoil the newest blessing in the Mann household. Number 2, off the court. Now, you don't make it to the NBA by having realistic goals, which is why Tre's future plans are quite audacious. But his current day-to-day is pretty hectic. He and his partner, Alyssa Mann, welcomed their first child together on February 3rd, 2024, the same day as Tre's birthday. He announced this on his Instagram account, which has over 187,000 followers, and his account typically features his stylish looks and game highlights. But we have a feeling that his feed might be flooded with his newborn. Now, off the court, Tre is a very different person. The type of person I am on the court, I kind of don't really show a lot of emotion. I keep a poker face. Off the court, I'm a good dude to be around and I like to have fun. I enjoy spending time with my family and friends. I joke and laugh a lot. However, when it comes to goal setting, Tre aims for the stars. I want to be an all-star one day. I want to play and compete for a championship. I want to win a ring. I want to be in the MVP race. Things like that. I'm pretty sure everybody has those same dreams and goals. His net worth will surely follow suit if he achieves those lofty goals. Number 1, his net worth. One thing that can boost your net worth is a couple of big endorsements. Now that Tre has more minutes, he can show off his elite game and wrangle in a few endorsements shortly. So far, he has made $14 million. A good chunk of that ends up going to taxes and agents and managers, which is why it is clutch to have some brands backing you. Tre is likely to double and triple that in the coming years, but for now we would estimate that his net worth is somewhere around the $4 to $5 million mark.